we know that racism is bad for your mental health. And so if you're seeing over and over again that Black people are being killed by white people or anybody else who is not Black, that it has an impact. That data is still relatively new. It didn't start to be really put together until like 2007. Although Black people knew that it was happening, it's still relatively new. And so the way in which I like to describe it is that, you have adverse community environments. And so you see things such as killings, and you see Black people lying dead in the street on a daily basis. You have, poverty and things of that nature in your home, historical disinvestment in your community. I think we were talking about housing a little bit earlier. That kind of soil of raising Black children in, and raising Black families and trying to, bring the village together. When you have that kind of soil, it then births some strange fruit of the things that we see in our communities, such as divorce and substance use and mental health concerns. And so then people sit there and ask, like, why is it this way? It's systemic, right? It is historical. It is bad dirt, and it is bad soil for the tree. Something that I learned a little while ago is that in just kind of like a natural tree, if it has bad roots and bad soil, that tree can be there for 20 years. You can kick that tree over, pull it out the ground, and go on about your business. That tree's been there for 20 years, right? And so, but it looks like a completely healthy tree. And so when we think about trauma, when we think about how that impacts your mental health, we're also saying that nothing bad can happen for 20 years. That means no job loss. That means no, seeing, passing 29 vacant homes on your way to school in the morning. That means no poor education system. And so that kind of racism, systemic or direct, is bad for your mental health. And so I wouldn't show my child a video of George Floyd, for example, being murdered. I just wouldn't. But what can also happen is that our young people have access to these kinds of videos. And so they are re-traumatized every time it shows up. We were leaving out of the house on this past Sunday, and ESPN had some kind of thing on TV about sports, but it started with the Derek Chauvin trial. And I was like, I'm re-traumatized all over again. I just heard the young Black woman who caught the footage of Derek Chauvin murdering George Floyd. She was speaking in the courtroom. They use it as a voiceover, and so that is re-traumatizing to young people that have to listen to that and see it over and over and over again. And so. Racism is bad for your mental health. I wouldn't show it to my child. But we have to also recognize that they do have access and that it can be damaging in seeing something of that nature.